So as you begin this project of listening and responding through poetry and design, I imagine there were a number of times that you had some pretty impactful connections with people. Can you tell us a story about a time that you were really moved by a connection you were able to develop as you began this project?
Yes, I love that question. And also just want to say thanks to all the people commenting. I'm seeing like the little chat pop up and I'm like, I wish we could just hang out in real life.
Mhm.
Everyone seems so warm and wonderful. And yeah, so to answer your question, I it's a right when you were asking that question, the first thing that popped in my mind was a moment that I had in October. No, I'm sorry, August of 2019. I was at an event and it was my first speaking engagement, I think, kind of doing this whole thing. I hadn't done any speaking or anything in a while. And I was invited to speak. And afterwards, I was meeting people. And a girl walked up to me and she was holding her phone and it was on a particular wallpaper. And she said, "Hey, you made this for me."
Mm.
And without knowing, I didn't know what she looked like because if the stories that I respond to via email, I'm not seeing faces
Mhm.
and I didn't know who she was. But immediately I remembered her whole story. It was just like it was like a life flashing before my eyes moment. Like I saw that art in her hand and I remember her whole story. I remember the whole process of creating it. And we just picked up from where we left off. It was just like a
Mm.
such like a spiritual experience that I can't even explain. Like I was like, I don't know what that was, but that was bigger than me. It's like,
Right.
that is not something I ever expected would happen. And since then, I think I've had three moments where someone's walked up to me and they said, "You made this for me." And all three times, that could have been the only three people that that would have happened with, but it just so happened to be those three people all three times. I was like, "Oh, I remember exactly what your story was. I remember why I made this. I remember that why I chose those colors." And yeah, those moments are really special to me.
You know what I love about what you're saying is this sometimes we get into this social media world where we're posting, um, but we're literally forgetting that when we create something, we have the ability to impact and make a difference. And it
Mhm.
sounds to me when you're hearing those moments about the intention when you create that when you sit down, you go, okay, yeah, you got your grandma and you got your whatever, but
Yeah.
you've got people that literally what you're creating is a lifeline for them. And what you're doing is so intentional. I think as creators, that's the real reward is when
Mhm.
you create something that matters and create something that makes a difference. You realize this is bigger than me. And then you feel
Yeah.
that sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have a practice that because like I have to use well, I shouldn't say have to, but I use social media
Yeah.
for my business, for my art that I do. And I have a practice that I do not get on that app without, and this might be a bit extreme. Not it's might this is just me. I don't get on that app without going to my DMs first. I go straight to DMs. I go to all requests. I don't look at top requests. I change it to all requests, so I'm seeing them in real time. Not the people with blue checks or the most followers. I see the real, and I respond to at least 5 people before I do anything on the app.
Wow.
That grounds me. That
Wow.
grounds me because it reminds me of why I'm here in the first place. Because you get to scrolling and you see other people's work and you're like, oh my gosh, they're so talented. I can never keep up. Like, how are they doing this? Like, what? Or, oh, they got that opportunity. Like, oh my gosh, like, I wish I had that. Or, even if you're just excited for them, like even there's good distractions too. Like
Mhm.
sometimes we just want to go hype up our friends and we get really pumped, but we just have to be really careful that we are remembering what is the best part of being on these platforms and what is the best part of being able to do creative work and share creative work, and that is to be able to connect with people. And yeah, that's just the way that I choose to do it because especially these days I'm not seeing a lot of people in person. So I have to be extra careful and mindful of that, and that really does keep me on the ground and it keeps me motivated to keep doing this work.